Thank you. Thank you very much, Ewine. We've got two questions. One from the Chancellor. Would you like to ask?
Sorry. I want to know, I read the other day that there are many exoplanets that seem habitable, better also for the Earth. That is true or not?
Sorry, that can you repeat? Yeah.
I read
yes,
in the newspaper that there's a new discovery that there are exoplanets that are more habitable than also the Earth. That is
But the
true.
habitable, yes. Indeed, we now know that on average, every star has at least one planet around them. And a fraction of them, say a few percent, typically are habitable. Habitable meaning that at least that water can be liquid on them so that life could arise on them. Whether that actually happens, we don't know. And whether they would be more habitable than the Earth, I doubt it. Our Earth seems pretty perfect if you look at it compared with some of the other systems that we know. But certainly there is a significant fraction of planets that could be habitable. Whether they are, we don't know yet.
Thank you very much.
Okay, question from Mohammed Hassan and then from Antonio.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is a question also for you. You mentioned South Africa, and it just occurred to me that the square kilometer array, which is going to be the largest radio astronomy facility in the world, and the world's largest telescope, is certainly going to provide a lot of information about the universe, its formation and evolution. So I'm wondering whether you have any views about how this huge facility is going to help humanity
yes,
in its understanding.
Yeah. So we have a close connection with South Africa. Our Office of Astronomy for Development is in South Africa, actually. And of course, South Africa is indeed one of the major partners in the square kilometer array. It's a wonderful example of how that has led already to new technologies, how it has gotten a whole generation of young scientists excited about it and trained in engineering, in technologies, some of them continuing in astronomy, others going in other places in society, but using the skills that they have gotten in as being part of that endeavor. And also the precursors, the Meerkat array is already very prolific scientifically. So it's really putting South Africa on the map.
Right. Two more questions from Antonio next.
Thank you, Martin. And well, congratulations for this very interesting introduction, and where our education was mentioned so clearly. And I must tell you that this is, education is based in connectivity today. And here at the Vatican, we have, since 3 years old, a statement about connectivity as a human right. And I'm working on education around the world with a one laptop per child project organized by Nicholas Negroponte at MIT some 10 years ago or more, and 15 years ago. And I can tell you that connectivity has transformed education in many, many, many countries. An example of that is Uruguay, where everybody has a computer at home given by the government and connected to the internet. And your ideas of national happiness are so important for public health. And I can add that not only children enjoy education, but adults too, And in the case in Uruguay, which is so important, adult, all persons in pension or retired have also received a tablet from the government. And therefore, education is not stopping in schools and university, but stay the whole life. And this is why it's so important what you have said. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And I think one of the challenges that we're discovering now in COVID time is that the poor internet connections in several parts of the world, in particular in parts of Africa, that means that it's just very hard for those people to reach the education. So indeed, connection to computers and internet, broadband internet connections are going to be of the highest importance here.
Van der Leyen, last question.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for the nice presentation. It's always nice to see astronomy. I'm not an astronomer, but I love to see those pictures. They are wonderful. And I have a comment and a question. The comment is, astronomy in general is based on observation. And that seems to be the main attraction for young people. We have an observatory here in our institute, and I see the people come and they are happy to look at those pictures on the wall, but when they look through a telescope, their life change. So I think this is why astronomy attracts so many young people, because it's based on doing, it's based in observation. Now comes my question. We observe that the young people now are not really learning with experimentation. They are learning basically concepts and theory, but they are not having a chance to even see a plant growing in the garden. And this is somehow creating a different mind for science. And I would like to know your opinion on how should we deal with this situation, that we are teaching less with experimentation, with real hands-on, and more with books and internet and simulations? Do you think is right, or is there going to create a lack of intuition for coming generation of scientists, or even citizens in general? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for these comments. I think you bring up a very important point. Of course, there needs to be a balance between hands-on and also some deep theory and mathematics. And that's especially what we're missing now with this COVID crisis. The students are not getting the hands-on experience. What we are still trying to do is bring small telescopes to villages everywhere, just to have this hands-on experience. And as you say, I mean, their faces start to light up when they when they see that. So that's one way of trying to help it. But at all levels of education, there needs to be a hands-on component. Yes.
Thank you. We have to move on now. I'd just like to comment that it's the mystery and wonder which attracts young people, and that's why dinosaurs are the only topic which perhaps matches astronomy in attracting enthusiasm of very young kids. And the sad thing is that that enthusiasm is not always built on when they get to the teenage years in the schools, and that's something we've got to try and change. But thank you very, very much indeed for that. And we now move on back to a more medical subject with the last talk. And the speaker, in fact, did come originally from South Africa. This is Dr. Marikalala, who has been an expert on TB in particular, and he graduated in Cape Town. It was 4 years at Harvard, and is now in London at the University College. And he's going to talk about TB control in the COVID-19 era. So, Dr. Marikalala.